Alright, so I got another drawing time-lapse together, this time of an original character named Granville. He's basically just supposed to be a shadow man, except I call him a Boogeyman because it's a more recognizable and more fun name. I technically had a sketch finished of him, but I wanted to redraw it, so it's a good opportunity to just record it. His original design was just supposed to be a kind of hodgepodge of random details from another artist that I really like. I'll show on screen. It's like it sounds like it should be like a normal, easy name to pronounce, but it always feels weird to say an online username out loud. But yeah, you can see it. Yeah, that has combined all of his, or like at least a couple of recognizable details from his characters, or their characters. I don't know who they are, but yeah, I just combined him into a character, and now, since I've redesigned him to a new form, he's basically become into his own, so it's very purple now. Yeah, the main thing I wanted to redo with him is the pose, just a little bit, being a little bit more like, I don't even know, just like the head being a little bit more down and a little bit more hunched, I guess. It's not really that much different, but it's just different enough to warrant a new sketch of him. Plus, just drawing all of his like flowing lines is really enjoyable compared to most characters. There's a lot of like swooping lines. I do think I might have gone a little bit overboard on his shadowy bits. Like I put too much like branching lines in between the bigger forms, but yeah, it still looks fine overall. It's kind of nitpicking my own art, as artists tend to do. The main thing I changed about the pose is his scarf arm is now tipping his hat a little bit to make him just a little bit more like intimidating, like he's actually noticed you and is trying to like get your attention, even though you don't really want his attention. I designed the little like jacket thing underneath his scarf thing to be a little bit kind of like a straight jacket, just to increase his kind of dark vibes, wearing it just as a style choice and not actually, he doesn't actually need it. He's a shape-shifting shadow monster. He can't be restricted in any kind of way. Yeah, the main thing that was going to be fun about the drawing is drawing very sharp edges for all of his parts. Considering that in the past I definitely didn't really do any super sharp edges on my characters. Even when they should have had like really sharp edges, I kind of just you know, lazily just kind of did a very smooth kind of corner, I guess. But now I've really figured out the way of, you know, overextending a line and then just kind of erasing the line to make it very sharp at the end. Now I get to do the fun part of doing the line art for all of the shadowy parts. So it made them very like swoopy, and didn't really have to care about the line art weight because it was all going to be pitch black anyway. And little things like the heel of his shoe, where I can like separate it by erasing a little bit in between like the, I don't even know what you call the different parts, but like the heel and the sole, I guess. All the sharp edges of his like dreads / branches or whatever you'd call them. Probably can control them like arms as well, but function as hair at least. Of course, I did leave some of the overextended lines to make him seem extra like frazzled, I guess, to make him pointier. Another little artist nitpick was how I ended up doing his teeth, because as you can see with the design sketch that I made of him a while back, I didn't want his teeth to be the kind of cartoony sort of teeth that were just like the pointy teeth kind of just ended right at the edge of the mouth. I wanted them to kind of like go at like different lengths into the mouth, I guess, to like make them seem a little bit less organized and like simple. But yeah, I feel like cause even though the idea was a good idea, it's like I just want to slightly reorganize some of the actual like I guess the creases in the teeth or whatever you call them, the holes in between them, just to make them just organized a little bit differently. Mainly the one little like bit in the middle where it looks like it divides his teeth a little bit too evenly, but it's like it's one of those things that you don't really care about unless you're the artist, I guess. I won't really bother actually changing it anyway, there's no real point. No one's gonna know this except for me. I'm actually going to build out his plaid sort of checkerboard pattern out using a symmetry tool, which I didn't even realize was inside for the longest time, but then like I just found it one day, which is like really amazing because I was like all the time I've been using Psy, there's definitely been like so many points where I really wanted a symmetry tool, but I just thought it didn't have it at all. But then one day I just kind of randomly found it, and then now I have it in my arsenal. I don't need to find another program to get symmetry. Of course, I could have just done it manually, like what I did with every other little bit of checkerboard kind of square pattern. Of course, got to make those as sharp as possible as well. Yeah, there's a bunch of more little artist nitpicks with the shading that I ended up doing. Not even like really that like tangible, but it didn't really feel like satisfying as I was making them. Just now that now it's been a few days since I actually made the drawing, I don't really care about all the little things anymore. It looks fine from, you know, like afar, I guess. Not like looking really deep into it like I usually do, or like any artist does when they make a piece of art. Making metallic materials is definitely a balance between forcing myself to like just put just enough to make it feel metallic and not, you know, put every little bit of detail I could possibly imagine putting on it. I definitely have found myself using the kind of airbrushy soft tool to do a lot of highlights and shading recently, I guess. Not really like too much, but you know, I definitely feel like it has its place when it comes to like making satiny kind of materials instead of the hard edges that I usually do with the like highlights and shading and stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's really much else. Just fixing up all the little things that I end up seeing when I zoom in a little too far. The main thing I want to say is I always have my link tree in the description of the videos. So if you ever want to actually see anything more that I make, because obviously I don't really post every single drawing that I ever make on YouTube, because that'd be like a crazy amount of work. But yeah, if you ever want to see everything else I make, go to there and see all the different links that lead to everywhere else.